So one of the questions I get asked a lot in the comments is what kind of guitar I use. So for anyone who's wondered what brand it is, what kind of model, what strings I use, all those kinds of things, that's what this video is about. So this is the guitar. As most of you already know, it's a Martin and the model is a DR. I bought this guitar, I believe it was in 1999. This was back when I was living in Boston. I was studying at Berkeley. And I was really into Michael Hedges, which for those of you who don't know, he was a fingerstyle guitarist. And well, he used a Martin. His guitar was a D28, which is a much more expensive model. When I bought this guitar, I was actually looking for something much cheaper. But I decided, what the hell, let's go into the room with all the expensive guitars just to compare, just to get an idea of what a good guitar sounds like. I tried a bunch of Martins and other brands too, but I just really liked the sound of Martin guitars. I mean, I don't think it was a coincidence because that's what Michael used. The cool thing was that this was part of the Rhodes series, which was, at the time, I think it was Martin's most budget-friendly guitars. And I compared it to a D28, which at the time I think cost about $2,000. And sound-wise, the difference wasn't that huge. Well, at least to me 20 years ago. Maybe now I'd think differently, but that's what I liked, that the difference was more a thing of workmanship. The D28 did sound better, but where I saw the real difference was in the workmanship. It had a much nicer finish, it had mother of pearl inlays and all these, fancy binding, all this really beautiful stuff. This one's a lot more basic, it has a very simple finish. I've actually had problems with it here in Panama with the humidity because it's a very thin finish. It doesn't have any fancy ornaments or anything. It's a pretty basic guitar. The tuners are cheap. I've had it for 20 years and I've always wanted to change the tuners and I've never gotten around to it. When I heard it, and I looked at the price, I was like, man, it's worth spending a little more just to get this one, And I've had it ever since, and it's the guitar I've had all this time. So this guitar has rosewood sides and back. I believe the top is spruce. I don't honestly remember. There was another model called the DM, which was from the same series, which had mahogany back and sides, and another one which had, I believe, also a mahogany top, or at least some sort of darker wood on the top. They were all pretty much the same with, slight variations in the sound. Now, that series was discontinued, and a few years back I remember Martin came out with a new Rhodes series, but it's pretty different. Those guitars come with they use different woods. I imagine it has to do with rosewood now being protected. I haven't played one. I have no idea if they sound the same, if they sound better, if they sound worse. I don't really know. But they do cost a lot more. This guitar, when I bought it, was about $600, if I remember correctly. $600 or $700. So, if you like this guitar and you like the sound and you want something similar, my advice would be just to go to a store and try a couple of Martins out. Try different price ranges, compare the sounds, see what you like, and go for the one that's more in your budget. And I mean, compare it with other brands too. You never know. You might find another guitar that has a similar sound. But yeah, just try out some Martins. I don't really know what the deal with Martin is nowadays. I honestly, since I have this guitar, I haven't tried any other Martin. So my advice would be just to try some out and see what you find. Alright, so the strings I use 80/20 bronze strings. I'm honestly not that picky about brands. Right now I use mainly DiMarzio strings when I'm recording, and sometimes I use Elixir, or also DiMarzio has a coated string, the EXP I believe. I use those for, day-to-day use and when I'm playing live, just because they last longer. But I used to use Martin strings. I've used all types of brands really, but I really like the 80/20 bronze, at least on this guitar. Gauge-wise, I use .12s. Recently I decided to try 11s out because I realized that 12s, even after playing them all these years, my fingers get tired after playing for a long time. Now that I've been doing these monthly live streams and practicing more, I didn't notice it getting any easier. So I tried these 11s out and they definitely do help in that respect. But sometimes they lack a little something, especially when I tune low. So I'm kind of in between those two right now. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking I'm gonna go back to 12s to try them out again and see how it goes, and then I guess I'll come to a decision. Now, about the pickups that I'm using, I got this guitar totally acoustic. There was no electronics in it, and that was a bit on purpose because, like I said, at the time I was really into Michael Hedges, and the setup that he used a combination of a magnetic pickup, which is basically like an electric guitar pickup, and a contact pickup, which goes inside the guitar. And he used those two to get, it was kind of in between a natural guitar sound, acoustic guitar sound, and a more electric guitar sound, which was easier to add effects to, and it helped with doing stuff like tapping and all those things. I think he's the first guy who did that, and nowadays it's pretty much standard amongst like modern percussive fingerstyle guys. That's kind of the model that a lot of us followed. So that was my intention, and I first got the guitar, and then later I started getting pickups and experimenting, and over the years I've tried a lot of different ones. But right now I have this setup which I'm really happy with. This is a DiMarzio Black Angel. You know, it has that magnetic sound, but it has a really nice balanced EQ to it. It's you know, it fills out the sound really nicely. I'm not gonna say it sounds like a real acoustic guitar, but it just sounds really close. Like if I use it alone, it just sounds nice, you know? And then inside the guitar, like under the bridge, is a K&K Pure Mini. This one's pretty popular amongst acoustic guitarists. It has a really natural sound, and if you blend it with the magnetic pickup, you know, you can get like a really big sound that still sounds like an acoustic guitar. Alright, so that's pretty much it about the guitar. If you have any other questions, please let me know. In the future, I'm going to make some videos about how I record it, how I mix and get the sound I do out of it, also the effects I use for my live streams. So if you're interested in any of that, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.